please welcome to Connecting for Change, Shani.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. First, I want to thank the Marion Institute for bringing me here, all the way from Kenya. It's a long journey, but somehow I made it. Thank you very much for that. That's Glenn, Dessa, and Tim. Secondly, I will not be able to present the Maasai culture in 20 minutes. It's quite a long thing to do, but I will do the best I can in terms of discussing the issue of Maasai culture, conservation tourism, and climate change, which is my subject today. Thirdly, English is my third language, which means I will not speak fluent English like any other speaker, because I'm Maasai, which means that's my first language. Second is Swahili, and third is English. So English is not that very perfect. I'll do the best I can to communicate. Lastly, occasionally I speak fast, and I would require a speech governor from you. So when I go very fast, kindly let me know, and I'll slow down a little bit. So just to start with what is about Maasai culture. Maasai culture is actually, I would say, is an interesting topic. And most people know, for those who understand who Maasai are, that we are the only few remaining community groups in Kenya that actually have held back to their customs and traditions. The Maasai, over 4,000 years, have tried to keep their culture, even with all the challenges of the 21st century, and they're still clinging to it since they came out of the Kerio Valley, where the Maasai believe they came from. So the Maasai culture has been resilient, and actually we do wear the color red. If you see what I'm wearing and what the Maasai colors do, or what the Maasai do wear, you can see the Morans there jumping. They wear red, and that is the color that people wear on Valentine's Day, even though we don't celebrate that day, but we wear Valentine's color every other day. So that's one thing you need to know about Maasai. Number two, the Maasai are known for what are called warriors or Morans, who are meant to defend the community against aggressors or other people who cause problems to us. And the Morans are known to be very tough. They're known for their long jumping. They endure a very harsh environment. And they're known for killing lions. It's still a ritual. I mean, it's not an easy thing to kill a lion. You can imagine. And if you see the next photo, look at that. That's what the Maasai actually handle. Those Maasai Morans who were jumping a while ago in that photo actually handles. You see the teeth of that angry lioness? That's what the Maasai Morans endure. I can bet it's not an easy job, I can tell you. The Maasai of Shompole, too, part of that big tribe that extends all the way to Tanzania. The Maasai are known to live in those pristine landscapes, very exotic, very remote, virgin, whichever word you may use, and they're still preserving their culture because they have not really been in touch with the rest of the world, even though now we are opening up a little bit. But still, we are living in those very non-polluted landscapes. The Maasai are pastoralists, which means they keep livestock. They are herders, and the cow means everything to the Maasai. The cow gives us milk, gives us meat, and we sell it to the market. So when we need to buy something else from other people, we sell the cow and get a bit of money and buy food, even though we still prefer doing barter trade. The Maasai have coexisted harmoniously for many centuries with the most dangerous wild game, lions, elephants, you name it. And so the Shompole Group Ranch, which I come from, is actually a small group ranch measuring around 62,700 hectares, which is 154,000 acres, that has a population of 10,000 people, and the land is owned by 1,200 absolute landowners, which are registered members, for those who understand what it means to have a group ranch. And we are located around 200 kilometers southwest of Nairobi, and it's quite a very nice drive, 4 hours drive. And the way it happens with the Maasai, once you grow up as a young boy, you are initiated through a process to become a Moran. And then after Moranship, you graduate into a junior elder. So in this picture, you can see 3 guys. We are many, in my generational age set, we were 3,000. We graduated into junior elders, and after that, you become a senior elder. In the photo, you can see a senior elder who was one of those taking us through the process of initiating us to junior elderhood. We also have women, and there's a lot that goes on within the culture. Women are a very important component of our culture. They do so many other things, apart from taking care of us, bringing up children, doing so many things. The woman in the Maasai culture is a very integral part of our lives. So you see them there doing stuff in one of the ceremonies. I talked about the Maasai being herders. The Maasai really cherish or love the cow. All of our life is central or revolves around the cow, which means everything the Maasai do that really has to be about taking care of that cow, whether it's from predators, whether it's from that angry lioness opening her mouth there, or a drought or anything else. We really have to take care of the cow because it's central to our life as the Maasai. The Maasai, I said, live in very pristine landscapes. And so we do in Shompole as well. By the way, you see those 3 female waterbucks. We also do have what we call bush catwalk, or posing for photos in the bush. So look at that. And so that is one of our area that we conserve in Shompole Group Ranch because, number one, Maasais are known to be natural conservationists. In nature, we actually, the way we've been brought up and the way we live on the landscape, we actually ensure that the way we live on the land, the way we graze, the way we build our houses, the way we drink the water, is all meant to conserve the environment. So that's one of our swamps. It's called Kimur Swamp. That's our Shompole Mountain. And that's what happens when the environment has not been tampered with or climate change has not set in. It's very pristine, very beautiful, admirable. And out there, there's a lot of love. And I call that love for one another. You see ostrich hanging out with zebra, with a giraffe, and I just wonder, why can we not do the same out here? In the human world. That is in the animal kingdom. Can we also do that in the human world? We're talking about connecting for change, but connecting for change without love isn't going to take us anywhere. So I also want us to borrow leaf from these guys, zebra, ostrich, giraffe, and others. What happens when the environment changes? Because I said earlier on, when there's adequate rain, everything is okay, it's very green, very beautiful, very pristine. It's so lovely out there. You won't hang out in the bush with giraffe and everything else. But when that changes, when climate change sets in, then you have trouble. It means there's no adequate water for giraffe, there's no adequate water for livestock, there's no adequate water for people. And that causes trees to dry up, causes animals to die, whether you're talking about domestic stock or talking about wild game, and even the biggest of all, they die. That's an elephant. So it means small animals die all the way up to the biggest animal. Climate change is not a good thing, you can see. And so when that sets in, the elders meet within the community to say what are our options, because for so many years, up to the 1980s, late 80s, we have not had problems of drought. And I remember when I was growing up as a small boy, we had rain from January to January, and we could tell when exactly it's going to rain. In the 90s, things started changing. And when I did ask my dad or elders one time, they said, actually, we can't explain what is happening. Thanks to climate change. So this climate change word is a monster. Nobody understands. Perhaps maybe the UN and the big guys up there. But for us, the local people there, we're trying to appreciate what is going on, because the world around us is very small. not sophisticated, not complicated. We have no computers to read modules or understand exactly like they are doing right now with Hurricane Sandy. I was watching news today, and they say we have computer modules or models, I don't know what they call them. They are trying to understand what is going to happen. They say it's a 600-mile hurricane. For us out in the field, we don't have such complex processes or systems to use. So we just try to appreciate what nature is, what is happening to nature, and we go back to history, and we can only tell that there's something wrong, but we don't know where the rain started beating us. But thanks to a number of processes I attend in other places, I've understood that climate changes are long. It's been taking long over many years, and it's just like catching up with us as human beings, and I think this is why it's important for us, all of us, to kind of connect and understand what we can do to help our own communities. After those community meetings, the elders decided to think of ways to cushion the community against climate change. And they said, because when there's a drought, we lose a lot of our livestock. Many of our cows die, many goats die, many sheep die. And in the process, we have a problem with food security. People cannot get enough food to eat. Children cannot get enough milk because the Maasai really live off the cow in terms of getting milk or slaughtering the cow for food. So if we cannot get milk and the cow is not even there in the first place, what options do we have to live? So we say it as the elders or leadership of the community, we must diversify our resource base in terms of what do we do to get food from another source, because the cow is no longer dependable because the drought is becoming worse and worse, more frequent, more persistent, and even aggressive, if I may use the word. So the elders said we need to use our culture, build a lodge that could bring in tourists pay money, and we could plow back that money to handle issues of health, education, water supply, take people to hospital, pay medical bills, build more schools. And that idea actually worked perfectly well. What we did was invite other people who were our friends and partners, and we built a very beautiful lodge called Shompole Lodge. We also built another small lodge called Shompole Lodge. And we brought in visitors for over a 10-year period. We set up a conservation area of 10,000 hectares to exclusively manage biodiversity and manage wildlife. And we also did zoning of the land so that we still want to take care of our livestock. We're not saying we are abandoning our way of life for conservation or tourism, per se. All we are saying, how can we have ways to complement our source of living, which is actually the cow or livestock keeping. So we still do livestock on the side, but we say let's zone the land to have a management system that takes care of both conservation, tourism, and livestock keeping, and also settlement areas, so that when people want to build up their homes, they cannot build, for instance, in the middle of a conservation area. They build somewhere else where it's allowed. So that is our beautiful Shompole Lodge. And we have had high-flying guests. Actually, that's Bill Gates in the superimposed photo. He visited us in June 2010. And actually, he was very helpful because he gave us a bit of money for conservation, and we would have wanted him to give us more for conservation, but he did not. But we appreciate that he came and spent in our lodge, and that gave us more publicity and more marketing in terms of people coming to our place. What are our successes? We managed to employ the youth, in many of the places that are available in terms of permanent employment. We gave them casual labor. They were able to do so many things. And also some of them, we paid them college fees and stuff like that so that they were able to even secure a job outside the community if there were no jobs available within the community. We also did employ a lot of women. 1,000 women benefited from the lodge employment and business. Thank you. Women employment. We employed 1,000 women from the lodge employment or lodge jobs, but also give them an opportunity to sell beads, which they are very good. All the stuff that I'm wearing is made by women, not men. And so women have that inherent, or they have that innate knowledge they were born with, and they can make stuff and sell. We also employed teachers, 10 teachers in government schools to cover deficit, and also employed health nurses to offer services to our people. We also awarded bursaries or scholarships to all high schools and college students in Shompole, worth millions of Kenya shillings. And we won a UNDP Quera Prize Award for being an exemplary project that's community-based. Actually, the category was the best community business sustainable model. So not only in Kenya or in Africa, but actually beyond. So we are very proud to have won that award, and that gave us international footing and platform to market further our ideas and even share. So that project became a blueprint or a new template, and many conservation community groups came on board to replicate this idea in other areas. Annual revenue from our lodges is between $48,000 to $60,000 a year, and I said earlier on, we plow back the money to community projects. We are now focusing more on empowering girls, because in my community, there are so many good things that happen within the culture, but some of them are retrogressive, they're not good, and I want to admit that we still do female genital mutilation, which is not a good thing. Now it's actually, we're actually working on eradicating it, but we do not want to upset the culture overnight. We want to do things in a systematic way where we educate people, the parents, the girls, and everybody else to accept this idea. But we said number one is to empower these girls. How can we empower them? Give them education, because they will be able to make their own decisions and not necessarily have somebody else make the decision for them. So that's one of our flagship projects. And in this effort, we have actually been able to secure collaborative efforts. We are bringing in volunteers from the US, from Berkeley Carroll in New York, Groton School in Massachusetts, and Ainsworth in Tennessee. They've been coming for the last 4 years. They raise money from their own country or schools. They come and build for us. They have built for us a dormitory. They installed solar panels so that the girls could read at night. And that is really working perfectly well. And I think we want to go that direction, because sometimes you cannot do things on your own. Why don't you invite other people who are interested in helping you go that extra mile? And actually, I thank those volunteers for helping us a great deal. Thank you so much for those guys who have been working hard to raise money from the places to come and help us. So this partnership is very mutual, because when the students come out to help the Maasai girls, they also go out to the community. They do homestays. They appreciate the Maasai culture, because there are so many things that have been written about the Maasai in books, in articles, in documentaries, but some of them are misrepresented. So when you come out there, the stereotyping is kind of dealt with. So when these people come, I take them for homestays for 2-3 nights. So you imagine a New Yorker spending in a Maasai hut. I mean, to be very honest, that's not easy. But these guys, these kids who are used to laptops and iPhone and music all the time, they actually go there and they do it with their iPhones and their laptops, and they spend the night. They do all the chores the Maasai do. They go watering animals. They go with the women to look for firewood. And when they come home, they're completely changed or transformed. Their life is completely changed. I found one girl who went to Cornell, and another one went to Harvard. Now they are pursuing water conservation studies, because they saw there was a problem in Maasai land with water issues. And she said, oh my God, there are so many things I take for granted. Not having a shower. I mean, I have a shower 3 times a day. In Maasai land, I only have one, or maybe even stay without a shower the whole day. So I must do something really to make those other people have showers the way I normally have my shower in New York, or at least have them have some water to drink, not necessarily have a shower. So I think there's a lot also they learn when they come out there. And one other person said, I never thought or imagined I could stay without my iPhone for a week, or my laptop for a week, or TV for a week, because out there in Maasai land there's no TV. So when you come out there, you come with a backpack, or a sleeping bag, or whatever it is. We offer you food, experience, and all you do is take a journal, put it down, maybe maybe share it with other people or your family, and that becomes an experience of a lifetime. These are some of the kids from Groton School. Apart from the construction, which we work alongside the community, they also go to classes and help these kids read English books or even appreciate other books that they donate from their schools. Because of our successes as a community group, other communities around us wanted to be like us. They wanted to do exactly what we were doing. They wanted to make money. They wanted to diversify their resource base. They wanted to create employment. They wanted to empower the youth, empower their girls. But we told them we can only come together if we form an umbrella organization that is legally registered or recognized by government. And so we registered an organization called the South Rift Association of Landowners, which I'm part of the executive board. And we brought in 13 group ranches. These are communal ranches of the Maasai that are surrounding us all the way from Amboseli National Park, if you guys know what I'm talking about, in the southern part of Kenya, all the way to Masai Mara. That covers an entirely almost 1 million hectares of land. And all these people said, because of you guys, because they came to us, number one, to learn what we were doing in terms of an exchange visit. They said, we want to do exactly what you guys are doing, because we think you are doing one thing for the community. Number two, you're conserving the environment. Number three, you're doing something about the local economy. You're creating jobs for your people. So, and we accepted. So we formed that organization, I think 4 or 5 years ago. And now we have, so imagine conserving initially 62,700 hectares of land to 1 million hectares of land. That's in 4 years. That's massive. So for me, I think that was something really good that we did. Thank you. That was something good that we did for Mother Nature, for ourselves, and what we want at the end of the day is a win-win situation. Main focus is biodiversity, reduce poverty. We also use this as a tool to address the MDGs, Millennium Development Goals, and also it's a community-to-community networking network. And actually, we've been invited a couple of times to go to Sudan to help the communities set up conservation programs. What do we want? We want a situation where the giraffe, the donkeys, sheep, goats, people hang out together. That's what we want at the end of the day. What are takeaways? For the Maasai, we do respect our elders. So when I talked about the meeting we were having, is there any gray hair in the room? Any gray hair person in the room? Yes, respect for you. We do respect our people. So I think one thing that holds our community together in terms of cultural norms and values that we pass on from one generation to another is respect for our elders. So I don't say you guys don't respect your elders, but yes, please, if you can do like the Maasai do, I'm sure that will be much better. We have unity of purpose. Okay. Unity of purpose, love and harmony within the community is key to achieving our development goals. Suppose we want to do something, and one section of community says no, the other says yes, we will not arrive or go to where we want to go at the end of the day. So I think if we enhance that and make sure that all of us think the same way and love one another, we will achieve much. Respect and harmonious coexistence with Mother Nature is very important as well. So the way you live on the land, when you're building your house, or going to the river, or watering your animals, make sure you don't do anything harmful to the environment. Collaboration and networking with other partners within and outside the community is central to our goals. I mentioned about the US volunteers and many other people that we work together. Management of pasture and water for both wildlife and livestock is very important as a coping mechanism for climate change. So I said we did zone the land. We have an area for wildlife keeping, we have an area for livestock keeping, an area for settlement. All that within the same land of 154,000 acres is key, because if you don't have sufficient rain, if you only get small, like few grass in one place and there's no grass in another place, what are you going to do within 12 months, within a year? So you must plan yourself around the land so that then you can actually survive through that season to the next season. Integrated management approaches yield better returns. If you do so many things on the land, you are doing livestock keeping, tourism, conservation, everything else together in an integrated approach, you are most likely going to achieve more than only doing one thing with the land. Ecosystem services enhance both the socioeconomic and cultural well-being of the community. Yes, it did, because when we conserve the environment, we're able to get enough grass for both livestock and game. We were able to bring in tourists who paid money because the environment is nice. Everybody had must to go to your environment or your area because it's good. But also, our water ecosystem and in general, the ecological integrity of Shompole has been enhanced or improved. We also, ecosystem sustainability heavily relies on grassroots community participation. If the community in Bedford or in Ecuador or in Cambodia do not want to be part of that management or that ecosystem planning or whatever it is, you will not succeed. So they really have to understand why you want to do that and make them be part of that program. You'll succeed. Thank you very much.